Hey YouTube, I've been looking for a GoPro mount for my YXZ so that I can mount the GoPro to the roll cage, and surprisingly it's been kind of a challenge to find a good mount. There were limited options out there that I could find online through Amazon and other places, and the ones that were out there that I did find were either really expensive or just seemed like they were poor quality and wouldn't hold up to going off-road. So I've been hunting around. I finally stumbled across something here called the Veho Muvi, and I think it was originally intended for a different camera setup, but it has the attachments for a GoPro. So figured I'd do a quick unboxing here and give you guys a close look at it. And then we'll mount it to the GoPro or mount it to the YXZ and get some shots of it, see how steady it holds things. So it comes with the clamp, a couple of different options for mounting the GoPro so you can face it different directions. So the clamp that's on here right now allows you to run it at 90 degrees to the angle of the roll cage. So I'm going to end up mounting this on the harness bar directly behind us. And so if the bar is running this way, then the GoPro will be facing forward. And it's got another clamp option, so you can put that in there and have that run the same direction as the bar. What I like about this one is that these are very sturdy plastic pieces. A lot of the ones that I've seen out there where it just seemed like they would break or flex too much when tightened down. This one, you can see there's a nice metal bracket that runs through and holds everything together. The other thing is there's a soft rubber grip on the inside of each part of the clamp. So as you tighten this down to grab the bar, it's not going to mar the bar or scratch the bar in any way. Then you've got the standard sort of camera mount type mount for it. So depending on how you hook this thing up, you've got a lot of flexibility in mounting the camera. So this would allow you to put it at different angles and have the camera facing different directions and stuff. So seems like it's going to be a pretty good mount. It seems pretty sturdy. I think it's going to grip pretty nice. But we'll mount it on the roll cage and take the YXZ out and see how well it does. Okay, so I've mounted it to the rear harness bar. It's on there very snug. I think it's going to work pretty well. Some of the things I liked about this as I was mounting it is, one is because you have the steel threaded bolt, if you will, it's not going to break or crack very easily. The other thing is the nuts that you use to tighten it down have a steel sleeve in them as well that's threaded, so you're not going to strip out the plastic or see it crack or break very easily. So I think it's going to work well to keep it nice and snug and keep the camera nice and stable as it's mounted. So I think this appears to be a pretty good quality solution for mounting your GoPro to your harness bar. That there's obviously enough length here and thread here that this is a 1.5 inch bar. This could easily go to 2 inches, I think, without any difficulty. And I think you could actually go down even to a slightly smaller bar. You could probably take it down maybe to 1.25 inches. So it'll work on a lot of different diameter roll cages and piping. So it seems pretty flexible from that perspective. I think the problem with this, at least in my application, is if you look, on a roll cage, I've got angled bars over here, right? So, because everything here is at a right angle with your GoPro mounts, you can't really account for that right angle very easily unless you pick up some additional adapters that are, ball joint adapters or something like that, that will allow you to, tweak the camera at an angle. So you won't be able to frame up shots very well on an angled bar with this mount by itself without the need of an additional adapter. But so far I think it's going to work well. We'll see how it does on the trail as we get out. So I'll capture some of that footage and post that in here next. Being here on the rear harness bar, I think it's protected from the weather a little bit. It also gives us easier access to be able to clean off the lens if get mud or anything on there. I was out riding last weekend using my other mount right here, and I got some splashes on the lens, didn't see that, and so a lot of the shots were essentially ruined because I didn't think to clean it off. And because up here it's not as protected from the weather and everything. It's a great view, but it works well for pointing back into the cabin. But I think this location is going to work a little better. So really excited to see how this does on the trail. So let's take a look at that next. Okay, here we're hitting some pretty rough trails. We just started hitting the main loop, which gets really, really rocky and bumpy. And you can see that the mount is doing well. The camera shot is fairly stable considering all the bouncing around that we're doing. The mount's not vibrating, it's not shifting, moving around and anything. So it's holding up really, really well on this part of the trail. Okay, here you can see we're hitting the logging roads now. These are great because you can hit a lot higher RPMs and revs and get going quite a bit faster. So it's a different sort of stress on the mount, and it's holding up well. The shot still keeps its frame well, so it's doing well even at the higher speeds. So it's working out pretty well. Okay, so final thoughts on this is that this is a really good mount setup for a roll cage or a bar. It holds well even under load and the stress of vibration and RPMs and in rocky trails. So it did well. I think it's a pretty good mount for a reasonable price. So I'd give it a thumbs up. So there you have it. If you have any questions, please leave your comments below.